Been very patient so far, getting ready for that combo hit that we talked about earlier from Alpha 7. Don't want to pull the trigger too early for them. So much space towards the center of the circle, just not taken up, purely because of the horrid terrain in this area. There's still some hillside, some staging around on the north side, the east side, south side, and west side, but the closer we get towards the center of this map, the more hectic this game is going to become.
Once people are inside that circle, it will become a lot more playable. But as long as people are on the outside, as you said, with those high ground positions, it's going to be really, really tricky. Speaking of outside positions, DRS, they've been behind Vampire for so long.
So important.
And that was a beautiful knock for Ravenclaw to slow down any aggression. The nade over towards Stone is going to keep them low and keep them on the back foot. And Ravenclaw, hang on a minute, they turn that around in just one split second. And Delta stays alive for DRS. I thought that was all done for DRS, but no. They get exactly what they're looking for. They will sweep aside Vampire ahead of them and have a shot towards the center, but there's not really too many places for them to go. Puram tried to make the push up towards the north and actually successfully managed to sneak on through a little bit of a gap there.
Vampire Esports, I think they made the right call, right? I think last time they got bombarded out when the smokes came through, then the nades over the top. So this time around, instead of sitting still, they all stand up, try and push the players with nades in their hands. It's very important.
Wolves still holding on to their position in the compound. Fireflux moving into the foothills underneath the S2G northern side area. Dangerous position for Fireflux. Those smokes that they're dropping right now, absolutely crucial to suppress any shots or to cut off any sightlines from teams like Nova, from Influence Kemen as well, but that's not going to stop the nades pouring on through. DRS, they're rocking up into the back of Wolves over in Gatka itself as the shots and the pouring in of players comes through. Pickfeet able to handle the first. The DBS around the side though, barks. And the Wolves feel the bite of it, unfortunately. DRS will go no further. They had a good engagement over on that western side, but three teams in Gatka, it's always going to be too tough.
Still getting that far is almost a miracle in and of itself. I think for DRS to hold on, it was a real struggle at that point in time, and the fingers were really straining on the edge of the cliff there. Influence came in. Still have some players though. This might be their game. They send in Fireflux, Solus, one down. Fireflux down to just two players. And Solkay's looking to push this one far.
Silas from Turkey able to do for one onto Solkay there. Nice little knock around the side of the rock. Instantly flushed out as well. But there's the answer. A lineup and a knockdown over on towards Influence Kemen. As S2G and Fireflux both suffering the pressure felt by the rest of the lobby from the Brazilian sides. Nades over the top. And Influence Kemen looking very, very healthy here. All four of them up and active. S2G not so lucky.
Looking to pull out the broom here. Sweep the guys from S2G. And S2G is immediately retreated to a bit of more of a defensive position where they can turtle up, hopefully restabilize, push back against the guys from Influence Kemen. 4AM do have sightlines towards them. And we will head further towards the center of the circle. I said it was nasty. I said it was cruel. It certainly is. For all these teams over in Gatka, though, leaving is the worst part of this game.
Alter Egos trying to stay alive for as long as possible. Only the one player now remains for them. Alpha 7, eastern side. Nades over the top towards Geek Fam. Micah, low. Knocked, flushed, will fall, and Geek Fam are down to 2. Wolves are continuing to move through this compound, but the stairs prove too difficult for them to summit. Pickfeet goes down first, and they need to stick this res. Now towards the top side of things, they have Beautiful and Remember, who are pushing WWX up those stairs continuously. The DBS around the corner, and that is a really heads-up little hop out and a hop in, as well as WWX wants even more from the top rope. The turnbuckle is slamming them down. Finally, they put a stop to the chaos, but the damage is done. Wolves are slowed down. 5 eliminations, sure, but can they keep it going from the position that they hold? There is so much more to handle, and 4AM, they do go down.
I mean, there's a hop out there, and Nova looks like they picked up that final player. Goodness me, you can see just how good 4AM is.
They will not go any further, unfortunately. The top of those tables looking to be a little bit firmer now. Pick feet, nades over the top. Out into the fields, potentially over towards Geek Fan, but Alpha 7, 4 players alive, looking very healthy on the southeast side. If they can dispatch Stalwart, they are in a prime position for this next circle. But Stalwart not the easiest to deal with, unfortunately for them. Order picks up one. King with the Bison as well over onto Pick Feet. King does get shot down towards them as well. Jimmy and Order now the last 2 for Nova, but they are slowing the Wolves down enough to make this exit hard. Really, really tough indeed for the Wolves. Order with the AKM iron sights. Loosen shots from the grass.
There's really one only important fight here between Alpha 7 and Stalwart. The 2 remaining 4-player teams. Whoever wins this fight will most likely win the game. Wolves, though, do finally go down. Geek found 4 eliminations, 2 players left alive. Still going strong. We talked about the beginning of this game. Definitely not out of the mix yet.
Stalwart still with their challenge at their doorstep. Shots over towards Mythic behind the ridge line from Action, but not really getting too much more than that. Repositions coming through from Alpha 7. A lot of damage done actually to the health bars here, and there's the off angle, a third party, and an aid over the top from top is going to slam down straight onto Mythic. An answer from Mafioso. The Molotov slows any aggression to move across the way. Mafioso wants to suppress the back as well. He's dealing with threats on 2 fronts now as Alpha 7 can influence this fight, but Influence Kemen have their own say in things. As Lil Boy makes it tough. Makes it really, really tough indeed for Alpha 7 to stay alive into this one. Carrillo needs to hold there, but cannot do the job. 1 player now alive. It's Revo for Alpha 7. Further on into the circle with a position to hold. Wants to just stay alive and open the gap against Inco as much as possible, but Influence Kemen, they want to join their teammates from Brazil up towards the top.
Revo, complete clutch player as well in this lobby, so wouldn't count him out just yet. Influence Kemen really dominated control from that northern side. Wanted to continue to put down the damage. Order from Nova. Another powerhouse in their own right. Buradam with Sky only. Got a lot of these individual players who are extremely good left remaining in this final circle. What a cool finish here on Erangel.
Stalwart. 4 players alive here from Mongolia. IHC kind of stole the limelight from them a little bit, but God like Stalwart are playing pretty well here. Unfortunately, they did just take a knock, and they are kind of cornered somewhat towards the blue zone, and a tough run they'll have ahead of them. Buradam eliminated 7th place. Order still going for Nova. Powerful solo, like you were talking about, a Stalwart mount up for their push towards Revo, the last player for top team Alpha 7. Pika leads forwards. No nades in the back pocket for Revo, only 2 smokes to be spoken of, but will be able to open up for 1, maybe even look for a flush. It'd be brilliant to see more from him. And a knock over towards Action. Stalwart coming apart of the seams here. They all are going to fall down, crumbling under the purview of Revo. A clutch player indeed, Blank. Influence Kemen, though, with the center of this circle.
Yeah, never count out Revo. This is the guy that really took them all the way. But at this point in time, stage 8, it's going to be difficult to stay alive any much longer. Still, 4 teams remaining. Very good possibility now to get a little bit further. 5 eliminations so far for Geek Fam. But only 2 players left. The difficulty for S2G and Revo, there's absolutely no recompense for either of them. They're down, it's done.
You've got to think this is Influence Kemen's game to lose. 6 eliminations on the cards with 4 more to gain. They can potentially get a 25-point game here, Blank, if they get everything left in the lobby. A really solid result that would be. Would see them nice and tidy up the tables. Sort of middle of the pack right now. So they want to keep things as tight as they can. Lil Boy looks for one of Geek and will be able to get the flush as well. Revo with shots over towards one of the remaining player, but that's taken away by Law. So 2 of those eliminations already picked up now by Influence Kemen. Alpha 7 with Revo, S2G with Hamzy, the only 2 people who can stop Influence Kemen taking the chicken.
It's going to be really difficult for Hamzy G and Revo, but both very, very strong players. From S2G and Alpha 7, they have to work together now. It's the only way. Revo's already taking damage with the loot crate. He has a lot more room to play with here. Influence Kemin, they have to stand on either side. Revo's down. Hamzy G's life just become very, very difficult now.
However, he is up in second place for S2G, and with Influence Kemin on 3, 10 eliminations right around the corner. That is that 25-point game that they will be looking for here. A very, very solid result, but Hamzy G, he's got that DP. If he gets a cheeky little angle, gets a pick, there is potential here for things to go pear-shaped for Influence Kemin, but you got to hope that they won't.
I think for Influence Kemin versus Revo there, it is very difficult for them to lose that. But Revo is such a good player, they have to make all the right calls. They subdue Hamzy G on that side, send 2 players out wide so they can refrag off one another, and then send 1 player to finish the job on the edge. So I think no matter what happened to Revo there, this is something that Influence Kemin's always been very, very good at, and that is teamwork and working on the fly to make that kind of teamwork happen. And a quick bird's eye view here to just check exactly what's going on. Again, you got Little Boy in the back, very covered at the moment. Law, as well as Kariowski up front, ready to refrag off one another, and Little Boy's kind of that insurance, just trying to spot by jumping. This is what makes a 3v1 almost impossible to lose. The way they've set this up, yeah, I don't think that we're going to see anything but Influence Kemin chicken dinner, and you can see exactly why this is one of the best teams to come out from South America.
Maybe not on the table right now, but Influence Kemin are a force, and they will be reckoning with everybody else in the lobby on Erangel this time around. Match number 4 goes the way of, again,